So Piggy build mode right now is not in a very good spot. It hasn't been in a good spot for what I'm about to tell you might be shocking, but most of you guys probably haven't even thought of this, unfortunately, because it's been so normalized. Piggy build mode has not gotten a meaningful update in 8 months. It might almost be 9 months by now, because the last time we got a meaningful update was in September. Now, if you remember, September was when we got the prop block, which was something really cool because you could apply it to NPCs and you could have like moving decorations, blah, blah, blah. Really cool stuff, right? And I think it was mainly a thing that Minitoon created, I think, because I think it was an idea that he had in the background that he's like, oh, I'd like to maybe make this into something someday. And then, you know, he ended up basically bringing it back. That's when we got our last Piggy build mode update. September. Like, let me put this, all right, one more thing. Let me put this into perspective for you guys, right? September is when you guys started probably school for the first semester. First semester. It's from when you started whatever grade you're in or whatever year you're in college, right? From that, all the way to May, which is now. Like, if someone told me, right? If someone told me that, hey, we're not going to be getting a Piggy build mode update for the entire span of a grade, that would be, I would not be happy. But here's the thing, I was expecting that we were going to be getting something and we haven't. So, let's go ahead and talk about, now I know you guys are going to be like, oh, but Ernie, we got teasers for the next update, blah, 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 blah. I have some bad news for you guys there too. So if I bring you over here, yeah, so, here's the thing, right? We got this new teaser for, multi-select and for the advanced scaling and for the other new block. We basically got 3 new features, right? We got the multi-select, which lets you select multiple tools, copy and paste them, and super useful, right? Like, extremely useful. I can't wait for this feature, right? And then the other feature that we ended up getting, we got 2 more. One of them was the advanced tools, so basically you can advance scale stuff. If this live stream will ever load, there we go. But basically if I skip around over here, yeah, look, so you got like advanced scaling and the advanced moving tools, not rotation yet, I believe. I think Epic Tank said that rotation's not coming next update. And then the other thing we got, which I don't know if I can find it on here, but we also got 1 new block, which was, the player configuration block. Essentially it just like changes your, oh yeah, here it is. Yeah, the player configuration block. It's supposed to let you change multiple different parts of your character, but it only has 1 setting, which is to change your walk speed. Super useful though, right? Now you guys are probably wondering, oh, you know what, Ernie, I don't know what you're talking about. We got these pretty recently, you know? And look at that. He's actually testing them in the game. Look at this. He's like testing them or like, you know, actually using them in the game. It's not like, oh, I have this idea or this feature will probably be coming. We actually got pretty decent gameplay of it working and everything, right? Like that, right? I have a newsflash for you, and I didn't even realize this, but this is not recent. Who wants to guess how long ago this was? Again, keep in mind, this isn't like, hey, I have an idea for this, you know, and it hasn't been made yet. This has basically been made. How long ago was this? I was thinking about this the other day, right? And I was like, might be a couple weeks or so, you know, maybe like 2 weeks ago that we got these teasers. No. We got these a month ago. Yeah, 10 years, okay, all right, come on. come on. A month ago. So, tweet says, hey, here's a sneak peek at the multi-selection. Note that the UI is not final. Yeah, totally fine. Update will also include some stuff by, Curly Fry. Now, here's the thing, right? Curly Fry did mention a while back, and keep in mind, this post that he posted, wherever the heck it went, oh yeah, here, Basically, this announcement that Curly Fry posted, he basically said, hey, build mode update's not coming out until after Inner City. This was just an assumption. It's not an official thing. It's not officially coming after Inner City. It could come before. Just to keep that in mind. Just to keep that all in mind. Let's see. Okay. All right. There we go. Yeah. So I guess the whole idea is that this would be coming in the same update that Curly Fry would be putting out his concepts in. But right now, the status of Curly Fry stuff is unknown, right? And here's been my philosophy, right, when it comes to updates. I think especially for build mode, right? Whenever we get individual features into build mode, they're always extremely impactful. It's not really like a lot of other games where it's like, oh, you include in like 2 features or even 1 feature that's majorly huge. But because build mode is a sandbox game, right? Having 1 new feature can actually add a large amount of impact, right? And keep in mind, this update, the Epic Tank, these 3 features that he put out, first of all, the advanced tools, that's something people have been asking for literally years. Years and years and years. In fact, you know, Curly Fry ended up making like the grid divider. Epic Tank technically had access to the tools beforehand, but again, those are, you know, those are B tools anyways, right? Even hackers, okay, for those who don't know, hackers actually have the ability to use advanced scaling and rotation. Now, again, I'm not saying this to motivate you guys to go use exploits and stuff like that. I really recommend you don't. I don't want you guys getting banned. It's not going to be worth it. But it's gotten sad to the point where normally you would expect hackers to like do other stuff that hackers normally would end up doing and not trying to actually use tools that should have been in the game a long time ago. You know what I mean? And it's just so weird, right? But again, people have been asking for this feature for a long time. This is a major impact feature. So first of all, if Epic Tank just said, hey guys, here's a new tiny Piggy build mode update, released advanced tools, and that was the only thing on the list, that would be a major update. That would legitimately be a major update. I really hope that Epic Tank's philosophy behind updates going forward, because I don't remember the last Epic Tank update. Oh, I think the last Epic Tank update was the decal blocks, which was even further back. I think that was like almost a full year ago, actually, which is insane. I really hope that Epic Tank's philosophy for updates in the future, or whatever this next update's gonna be, whenever, right? I really hope his philosophy is not, oh, it needs to be a big update. We need to have this and this and this and this and this and this. And once it's all done, then I can put out the update. I really hope that's not the case. If we get build mode updates, the best possible scenario would be to have updates released periodically in smaller chunks, right? So for example, let's just say next week we get the player configuration block, right? That would allow people to adjust their player speeds and everything like that. People can make a bunch of Sonic maps. And then next week we get advanced tools. Boom, 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 boom. Look at all the cool stuff you can do. Awesome. And then next week, we end up getting the copy paste tool, right? Now, I know it's realistic that when it comes to the larger features, like the copy paste tool, those might end up taking longer. And that's totally fine, right? You can just take some simple blocks. That was on May 4th. Oh, so it has been a year. Yeah, the decal block thing has been a year. Also, Hyena's in chat, by the way, with us. But yeah, like, features like this, obviously, are gonna take a bit longer, right? That makes sense. It totally makes sense. But there are a lot of simple blocks that you can add into Piggy build mode that would make a big amount of changes. For example, the gear block. This has been my idea for a long time. You guys know the item giver block, right? You know, the green one with the gear on it. That's like, you know, oh, you power on this block and it gives like, it gives you an item. It puts an item directly in your inventory, right? Stuff like that, right? Literally just take that, take my gear command, and then boom, You just put in a gear ID and it would just put a thing in there. It would just put your ID in there. Now, some people might be wondering, be like, but Ernie, don't you want to have it where it's a gear menu where you can like choose the menu itself, right? Yes, I would. Does it need to come right away? No. Here's the thing, right? Some people are gonna be like, oh, but Ernie, you know, the decal block has a menu where you can like search up a name and you can click on decals and stuff like that. I still think that's a great idea, but does it need to happen right away? No, because that always ends up creating delays, right? It's like, oh, I gotta go make a whole menu for this. And it's like, you don't need to do that. Some people might make the argument, say, hey, you know, when it comes to copy and pasting stuff, mobile players can't do that. They can do that. We've been having stuff like the sound blocks for a long time, right? Like when it comes to, does anybody use that? Me personally, I don't because I'm on PC, but if I was on mobile, it would probably make things way easier, right? And that's totally fine. That's totally fine. But the idea is that like, instead of just delaying these things that could come out now that are pretty basic, ideally to make, why not just release it? And if you want to add on that other feature, you can just add it on later. You know what I mean? I don't think I've ever used the decal menu. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, again, I only ever play build mode on PC, so yeah. That totally makes sense. That totally makes sense. So we didn't get these these features have been teased for a full month. And we have no idea when we're coming because again, the stuff with Curly Fry is completely unknown, but my hope is that Epic Tank will basically change his mind and be like, hey, you know what? We have no idea when this Curly Fry thing is coming. How about I instead just over the next 3 weeks? You know, he doesn't even need to have them manually unlock, I wouldn't even imagine, right? He can just, because I assume in Roblox Studio, you can set stuff to auto unlock. And, I have no idea what game I can pull this from as a, oh! Type 1 in chat if you were here for the Piggy Inner City demo, but, you were in the game during the countdown. So for those who don't know, the Piggy Inner City demo came out like, I think 10 minutes early, but you couldn't play the game yet. It was on like a little timer that was on screen, right? Okay, so a lot of you guys, a pretty decent amount of you guys were. Right? Having stuff like that would unlock. Basically say, hey, let me take, okay, I'll just take this, right? All right. So, you know, here, let me just go to full screen. Right? Just, hey, I have this new feature, right? It looks great. It's all done and everything like that. Let me just take this and write down a date on it and boom, it is in the game, but this feature will auto-unlock itself at a certain date and a certain time, right? Like, surely, I don't know if do we have any Roblox Studio developers in here? Or scripters, I mean? I'll just put that back on the shelf. Do we have any Roblox Studio scripters in chat? Because I would imagine that that's possible, right? Like, that surely should be possible, right? Again, that would make it easier for Epic Tank where he doesn't have to sit there and be like, you know, oh, I gotta wake up and, you know, go get on the computer and then hit the release button and everything like that. Maybe he has to do that for the patch notes, but, I mean, yeah. Other than that, should be able to do that. Making a live countdown is possible. Yeah, it doesn't need to be like a live countdown that displays on screen or anything like that. It's literally just a timer that's built into the code that will just unlock like that. It would make it easier. What happened to the roller coaster idea on Piggy build mode, Ernie? Essentially, oh yeah, how long ago was that? Yeah, so just for those who don't know, Epic Tank made a roller coaster concept in his concept game a long time ago. And one day he basically put out a tweet saying, hey, if we get 2K likes on this tweet, then the roller coaster will be coming to build mode in a future update. Asterisk in a future update. And we reached the goal. I definitely pushed for that because that's like a really big event, a really big feature for Piggy build mode. And yeah, I mean, technically when you say in a future update, it could be 80 years from now when Piggy build mode has that update. Like literally. Could be 80 years. Jeez, I am scrolling all the way down. Where the heck is this roller coaster tweet? Has it really been this long ago? No way. No way. Oh my god. Wait, what date are we at right now? July 5th of 20... There's no way it's been... I feel like it's been a little over a year, right? I feel like it's been a little over a year. Okay, you know what? Let me use the... Oh, you guys can't see me. Sorry. Sorry. You guys couldn't see. Okay, let me just go to the very top here. And let me search via this. Roller coaster. No results? What? Coaster? What do you mean no results? I don't think it got deleted. Let me look at Piggy News. Piggy News. Because Piggy News definitely made some kind of post on it. Roller coaster. Where's it at? Because they definitely... I don't know where it is. Is it one word, roller coaster? His tweet was in a reply. Oh, it probably doesn't list replies then. Oh man, does anyone know? Does anybody remember how long ago it was? Anyways, I'm not gonna sit here doing a whole bounty hunt for the for the date and whatever, you know. I'm not gonna do that. I am not gonna do that. Oh, Minitoon put out a tweet. Hold on. Intermission. New Minitoon tweet. He says, "Thank you guys so much for the incredible demo launch. Your feedback has been invaluable to us, and we look forward to making lots of changes in the full release based on what you guys want. From console support to increasing speed and more. We've been making a lot of fixes to the demo this week. Here's a list." Oh, that's super cool. I think having the demo was such a good idea because, like I said, they've been doing a lot of bug fixes before this release, and I've always been like, it does not matter how much bug fixing you do, you will always find new bugs. And it's so important that they did this test, so I'm really glad that they did. I found the tweet and I'll DM to you. Oh, thank you, Hyena. Thank you. Okay. Yeah. So, build mode, blah, 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 2K likes, blah, 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 blah. We got it. Okay. Anyways. So, yeah, basically we got the goal, and Epic Tank's like, yeah, we're getting into a future Piggy build mode release and stuff like that. So, essentially, yeah, that's what it is. This was on, yeah, this was a year ago. This was also a year ago. Oh boy. Oh wow. So if you thought 8 months without a Piggy build mode update was a long time, this was a year ago. So no clue when this is going to be happening. I legitimately have no clue. Anyways, I'm getting a little off track. What I also want to do is the last tiny feature that we ended up getting. I mean, I wouldn't say it's tiny. It's pretty significant that you can finally, after years and years and years. Are you doing dono maps this stream? Real Evan, thank you. We're doing dono maps this stream? Yeah, we're gonna be doing dono maps. I'll add your name. I will add your, put your username in chat. Anyways, so this was the last thing that Epic Tank added, I believe, which was being able to put, I think this allows for custom NPCs to finally be in spawn blocks, which is a great idea. It's really nice. How long ago did we get this? So we got this on January 27th, 2016. What I want to do is I want to look inside of, the update logs, and I want to see when this was released for build mode. Love hearts, blah, blah, blah. So this, wait, that can't be right. Wait, no way. January 27th, 2026. Wait, okay, I'm kind of in disbelief for a second. Hold on. So, he shows this feature working in-game, right? Everyone following along. He shows this feature working in-game, right? This was on January 27th, 2026. But if I go in the update logs here, officially added used own skins as a map bot. So that was it. It was in the NPC block. 2/25/26. Chat, what does that mean? I'll put them at a little I'll put them at a little side by side here. Okay, so yeah. What do you guys notice? So again. Full showcase. 100% working. Really cool. For this one feature. January 27th, 2026. This released on February 25th, 2026. This took a month. Or as Hyena would want to put it, a hot minute. Definitely, it took another month. Okay, so here's the thing, right? The reason why I pulled up this tweet was I was gonna try and guess when we can expect this feature, essentially, right? Because I'm like, oh, Epic Tank had a tweet, he teased out all of these things. When would they be coming to the game? How long after he teased something did they come to the game, right? But I was honestly expecting it to be way shorter because I'm like, oh, this is probably going to be a lot longer. This is probably going to be like a month or so for, which I still don't know why. But this was one feature and it took the same amount of time? What? Yeah, the reason why I was pointing out dates is because it was 1 month. It was 1 month until this released. Then again, there are other things inside of here too. That have to do with like bug fixes and other changes and stuff like that. So to give that the benefit of the doubt, right? But I don't know if this would have taken a month either. You know what I mean? Thank you, Minitoon fan, for helping me with that, getting the tweet too. I really appreciate that. Wait a second. All right, so I don't know how true this is because I technically didn't watch the Epic Tank live stream. I was asleep during it. But according to this person right here, he says Epic Tank said in his live stream that he said he wants it by September. Can you share the timestamp for the stream where he said that? Okay, I want to get official confirmation. But if that's true, that's kind of insane. If we're talking about these three features, right? But I mean, even in general, right? If Epic Tank is like, hey, I want to have an update by September, that's not good. We should at least have like some sort of smaller update if we're going to have to wait that long. In fact, we've already been waiting a really long time. Again, 8 months. And the last feature we got was essentially like one block, alongside some other smaller fixes and stuff like that too. But essentially, we got one block 8 months ago. You know what I mean? There shouldn't be any reason why the build mode community doesn't deserve having at least these three features that he teased as a part of like a quote-unquote mini update. I say quote-unquote mini update because these are really big features. Like, these are really helpful, positive features for the game. You know what I mean? So, again, like, if we're talking about like some kind of September update, again, me personally, I always say that just have like weekly or bi-weekly updates for build mode. That would make a really big difference for the game, right? But you know, if we're on a route where Epic Tank just for some reason doesn't listen to that feedback and we do end up getting some sort of update in September, which again, not really the best idea, but if that does end up happening, then the build mode community, Piggy community, shouldn't have to wait even longer after 8 months, right? Here's the thing, right? One of the biggest problems, and I think there is some criticism that I could have, right? I think in terms of being a developer for build mode's only developer right now, I think the last developer was like, was Optic, but that was like 5 years ago. I think the problem that Epic Tank has is communication, right? Something that is important with being a developer is having some level of transparency, right? And having that like a communication with the community, right? I think there is a lot of room for improvement to have that sort of Optic left us. Yeah, he's in inner city now. Yep, he is adventuring out in the inner city. But yeah, essentially, yeah, I think when it comes to like updates and stuff like that, and just in general about Piggy, I know he does a decent amount of tweets. I think it really couldn't hurt if he just went and was like, hey guys, would you guys rather me release this feature now or wait for me to bundle stuff? Like, again, even though I disagree with that, I think that would still be a really that would be a really great thing to be able to have that communication with the community and sort of just give that level of transparency and say, hey, something is happening. You know what I mean? Instead of just being like walking out the room and then leaving like you're never going to hear from me again type of thing, right? Also, Hyena says, I remember frantically messaging Optic when the move tool got added because I was so worried about the reload glitch being patched. Oh, yeah. Yeah, another small kind of side tangent is remove limits from things unless it's absolutely necessary. So, for example, right, the trader NPC limit, I would always have to sit there and use the reload glitch all the time. You know what I mean? The Pro 150 says, I think Epic Tank's problem is that he's a troll LMAO. I mean, it gets to a point, though. Like, I don't know how much of what he does is and isn't trolling. But, like, I think a lot of people are really over it. They've been over it for a long time. If that's the case. Real Evan, thank you for becoming a super member. Oh, yeah, give me your Roblox username so I can add you to my friends list, too. Oh, yeah. Okay, so someone gave me the timestamp here. Okay. Hold on. They actually posted the video. So let me confirm real quick that this is real. Let me see. All right, I'm going to pause the music real quick. I'm going to listen to this. I assume Epic Tank was on voice chat. Let's see. Okay, I wish there was a way I can turn my volume. Let me turn off my AC. Okay, let's see what he says. Before, like, September. Like, I'm not saying it's in the... Okay, here. Let me sorry, hold on, let me adjust this. Okay, there we go. Like, before, like, September. Like, I'm not saying it's gonna come out in September. It could come out way earlier. Probably will. But, like, I would want this whole update done, like, pretty much like before or during the summer. Okay, that's way different than what he said. That is significantly different than what he said, than what this guy says. Yeah, once and by September. I guess technically if you say by September, it could mean before. But yeah, that's exactly why I wanted to make sure that, that's why I wanted to verify first. So technically he's like, hey, it could be before, you know, it could be before September. It could be on September. I ideally want it to be around summer, right? And I mean, summer's about to happen, so it's like, you know, any day now. Any day now. But here's the thing, right? It's like, with Epic Tank in the past, I can't tell if it's going to be another thing where it's like, oh yeah, the roller coaster is coming in a future update, right? And then, like for this, for example, right? Who knows if we just have these features just being sat on until September, and then he's like, see, it was technically September. It's like, we don't know what to expect, right? It's that lack of transparency and that lack of communication that makes everyone basically go, what is happening right now? Or when is it going to happen? And what's going on? You see what I mean? Ernie, when are you getting auto-tune like Moon? Oh, my mic already has auto-tune. You know that time, you know those random moments where my mic will just suddenly peak out of nowhere and just go super bass boosted? Yeah, that's my auto-tune. But essentially, that's kind of what we're in the position right now. That's the position we're in right now. We're basically just like, We don't know what's happening. We don't know when it's going to happen. We have these features and they're almost just kind of like, let me go full screen, right? It's like, hey, everybody, here's these features and they're inside a big jail cell here, right? It's like, oh, there it is. It's the actual thing. Look, I can touch it. It's physically tangible. And then like the person just leaves the room. And they're just sitting there in a cage, like, is something gonna happen? We don't even need to have all three of them. We just have one of them at a time, and it's like, no, they're all just sitting in a cage. So we really don't know. We really don't know. Now, here's my estimate, right? I'm gonna be a little transparent here. So I have been sort of talking with Minitoon about like what's going on with build mode, right? And like, hey, you know, is something going to be happening? And, you know, what's happening here? Of course, I did, obviously, respectfully and everything like that. And I was even like, hey, listen, I would offer helping to fund the next Piggy build mode update as long as we get something soon. Because, again, we've been waiting for 8 months, right? And for other features and whatnot, debatably, whatever your opinion on what the last build mode update was, it's been too long. Like, no matter if you want to say the smallest feature or the largest feature, it's been too long. It's really been too long. And I sort of put up that proposal. I'm like, hey, listen, I'd be down to fund the next Piggy build mode update if it means getting stuff out sooner. Now, keep in mind, there are a lot of things that I cannot say. I say a lot of things as if there's like a lot of information about the build mode update that people don't know, but that's not true. There's only a small amount of stuff that I know, but it's kind of still in a gray area right now. So essentially, stuff will, in terms of the curly fry stuff, it's looking good. I'm not saying looking good as if stuff has already been made for the game yet, because that's not the case, right? But in terms of the curly fry stuff, that's going somewhere. I'm glad about that. As for the Epic Tank stuff, for the stuff that he already made, again, I really hope that he doesn't sit there and is just like, yeah, I'm going to have all these features. They're basically mostly done. I'm not saying they're fully done because there's a lot of coding stuff that in implementation that's probably not done, right? But like, yeah, these are mostly done, but I'm just going to kind of just leave them there and just wait, you know, relax and wait until Curly Fry gets his stuff done for, you know, however much longer. I am really hoping that Epic Tank will make the right decision to be like, hey, in the meantime, people have been waiting way too long for this Piggy for a new update. They've been really patient. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take, at the very least, one of his 3 features that he teased, and I'm going to put it into the game now, right? Even if he just has it as one bullet point on the update log, right? That would end up being a major difference. Because again, you either have the copy paste tool, or you have the advanced tools, or you have the player speed block thing that he showed off, the player configuration block, right? And those would be major things. Those would be really fun things you can add into the game, right? Like, at the very least, I hope he says, you know, people have been waiting too long. Let me take one of these features and put it into the game, and boom, there we go, right? The best case scenario is if he takes all 3 of those and puts them into the game at the same time. I say the best case scenario as if that's a huge monumental task, but it really shouldn't be. It really shouldn't be to just take those things that you've already demoed, right? And just finish it and put it into the game, right? That way people don't have to sit there and wait too long. And then when the whole curly fry stuff happens, we get a second update, right? There's no point in making it one big update because even these smaller fragments are big updates individually, right? And here's the thing, if you just have these big updates, right, there's hype for the update, and then after like a couple weeks or so, the hype starts going down. But if you have these individual things, especially individual features that people can put into their map one at a time, like, hey, I have a Piggy Says map. Yeah, the best map in the world, right? We got a new anti-gravity block, right? You can add that into your map and play around with it and test it. And then next week, hey, we have a jump boost block. You can add that into your map. It basically lets you progress, right? And then that way, the hype goes up, and when it starts going back down, the hype keeps going up, and it keeps build mode alive, and it keeps it engaging. You see what I mean? So, you know, I'm not saying you guys should go DM Epic Tank. I'm not saying you should go at him in servers because I don't want you to get it banned or blocked or anything like that. But if you guys ever see Epic Tank in general chat, just honestly ask him, you know, say, where is the Piggy build mode update? Say, can you just release your 3 features or even one of the features that you teased just as its own singular update, right? And essentially just ask him, hey, you know, respectfully, obviously, say, hey, what's going on with the game? It's been a month since you teased these things. It's been a little while since, it's been 8 months since the last Piggy build mode update. You know what I mean? People have been really left hanging for a long time, and I think build mode is a really special thing. It's what keeps people in game longer because they're building for a long time, right? You can even make the argument and say that, like, out of Piggy or build mode, right? Build mode keeps people in the game longer, which would be better for the game's health, right? Let me see. Does Epic Tank need permission for Minitoon to update the game? I believe Epic Tank would just need to, like, go to Minitoon and be like, hey, I got these features. Can I, that I want to add into the game. Can I add them? And once he writes them off, Epic Tank would go and develop them, and then, yeah. He does put out bug fixes, I believe, on his own, but again, it's unsure. Epic Tank uses AI for scripting. Why are you claiming that? How do you know that? How do you even know that? He doesn't even show his own scripting on his live streams. Even when he did the decoration updates on his live streams, he didn't even show his screen when he was streaming. So how do you know that? Yeah, that's kind of hard for me to believe. I'd like to see a feature where you can allow custom NPCs to crouch your bed. Yeah, again, at this point, like, even in the background when I've DM'd Epic Tank, I have intentionally asked him for super easy features, right, to add into the game, just so that new stuff can come out. And in the past, it kind of just never went anywhere. So again, as build mode's only developer, I'm really hoping that he steps up, like in the good old days, man, when he, like, remember when, before Epic Tank was a part of the build mode team, right? Before he was part of Piggy at all, right? I would be on live streams and I'd be like, hey, it would be cool if we had something like this in build mode. It was a block idea, right? And he'd go back, he'd go on his computer and go, do, and he would, within literal minutes, he would whip up that idea and put it in his concept game. And he'd be like, Ernie, join. I'd be like, what? I'd go and join the game and I'd be like, whoa, that's the idea I was talking about. And it works. How did you make that so fast, right? Like, it feels like ever since those days, and ever since, like, the first, like, major update, like, the first 1 or 2 major, Epic Tank updates that he first came out, we never saw that side of Epic Tank again. It kind of just faded away, and I don't know what happened to it, you know? But anyways, that's gonna kind of be my rant that I really hope something happens. You know, and keep in mind, I am going to try and help push in the background. I'm still in communication with Minitoon. I'm really going to try and help push something for build mode. Because again, this is the main game I cover on my channel, besides obviously main game Piggy and Inner City as well. You guys are really liking my Inner City content. But in the background, I'm going to be pushing hard for that update. Because well deserve it. Really, we do. And build mode's special. And I really want to see it back in action. You know what I mean? But anyways, yeah.